It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to a special time of Tuesday's Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast. On this, the 13th day of August 2024, brought to you by MSC Cruises and Will US, owner of Scoot Around. This, of course, is a travel day for me, which is why I'm doing the show early this morning. And by the way, I will say good morning to Hot Air Tom and Mike and Joanne and Steve. Glad you guys are all with me. There's not a tremendous amount of news, but a little. The lead story this morning, folks, is the ports brace for Ernesto. Also, Carnival Pride Itinerary Change, Virgin Voyages Solar Eclipse Tour, and refueling issues for Emerald Princess. That and lots more live here at 8 o'clock this morning. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. All right, folks, today is National Filet Mignon Day. Under normal circumstances, I'd be all over that. But, I'm going to be in airports. So I don't think they have enough money to pay for a filet mignon in an airport. Anyway, it's National Filet Mignon Day, so go out and have a nice steak. All right. We got a little bit of news this morning, so let's knock out the special message from one of our network sponsors, and then we'll get on with it. All right, so we start the show off today looking at the weather. At 5 p.m. yesterday, the National Hurricane Center upgraded Atlantic weather disturbance to Tropical Storm Ernesto. In response, the U.S. Coast Guard has issued warnings to maritime traffic and ports in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. With winds expected to exceed 39 miles per hour, the Coast Guard has declared port condition X-ray. This condition indicates gale force winds are expected within 48 hours. While ports remain open for now, maritime and port facilities are advised to implement precautionary measures. Currently, the center of Ernesto is near Guadalupe and the Leeward Islands. It's located about 10 miles southeast of Guadalupe, 350 miles east-southeast of San Juan. Maximum sustained winds are currently at 40. It's moving to the west at 20 miles an hour. The minimum central pressure is 1,007 and dropping. Ernesto is expected to move across portions of the leewards this morning and near or over U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico by this evening. After passing Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, Ernesto is forecast to turn northward over the western Atlantic. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 with higher gusts. Gradual strengthening is expected during the next few days, and Ernesto could reach hurricane strength by Thursday over the waters north of the Greater Antilles. And a similar story comes from our friends with Carnival Pride, as to be very cautious of the weather situation. Guests aboard Carnival Pride en route to Bermuda have been notified that their itinerary has been shifted ahead of likely poor weather from Tropical Storm Ernesto. While the ship will still be enjoying her Bermuda visit, The times in port will be a day earlier than originally planned, just to stay safely ahead of the storm.
There's no shortage of things to do in the nation's capital, from visiting the National Mall to exploring the museums of the Smithsonian. Visiting D.C. in the next few months? Take advantage of our deep discounts on scooter and wheelchair rentals. 10% off mobility rentals delivered to your hotel residence or Airbnb. Use code DC10. 20% off mobility rentals picked up directly from our shop. Use code DC Pickup. These offers are available until August 31st. Call School Around toll free at 888-441-7575 or reserve online. Use SRN 11137 for the best rates.
Virgin Voyages has announced the launch of its first Eclipse Voyages as part of the new Marvelous Voyages series set to debut in 2026. The cruises, inspired by the growing interest in astrotourism, will feature itineraries designed to give travelers the opportunity to experience a total solar eclipse at sea. The total solar eclipse will occur on August 12th, 2026, and will appear across the Arctic Ocean, Greenland, Iceland, the Atlantic Ocean, Portugal, and northern Spain. As a result, the cruise lines will offer 12 and 15-night sailings that align with the path of totality. Destination on Virgin Voyage itineraries include Dublin, Ireland, Glasgow, Scotland, and Reykjavik, Iceland aboard the Valiant Lady, and the Amalfi Coast of Italy, Majorca, Spain, and Caen, France on the Scarlet Lady. Each ship accommodates up to 2,770 passengers. Emerald Princess is having a rough start to her Greenland sailing due to unexpected difficulties with refueling at her home port of Boston. Though the ship is being refueled, the operation is taking much longer than typical, resulting in a delayed departure and a canceled port visit. Emerald Princess was scheduled to depart Boston at 4 p.m. on Sunday, but needed to remain in port to finish refueling operation in preparation for her trip to Greenland. Guests on board have reported that trucks instead of the typical barge were necessary to refuel the cruise ship. Because of the quantity of fuel the ship requires, particularly for this 17-night Greenland sailing, multiple trucks were required to fully refuel the vessel. This took longer than anticipated, and Emerald Princess remained docked in Boston overnight. It is not known why the refueling barge, which can carry much more fuel, was unavailable, or if technical difficulties prevented it from properly refueling the ship. Nonetheless, trucks were substituted to resupply the ship, and Emerald Princess got on her way. 8 days and 7 nights starting at $463 per person. That's just awesome. And that's our deal of the day today from MSC Cruises. Sail on the MSC Magnifica from Miami, departing September 27th. 8 days and 7 nights. Rates below are part of the flash sale and include taxes and port charges. The cabins, the interior cabins, Bella start at $463 per person. Ocean view at $573 per person. Balconies at $733 per person. Also, solo cabins start at $682. The ship sails from Miami, has a day at sea, goes to Cozumel, then Rotan, Honduras, back to Costa Maya, a day at sea, a visit to Ocean Key Marine Reserve in the Bahamas, and then back into Miami. Fabulous cruise on the Magnifica. Just give me a call, 434-258-9264, or email me at chilliefalls
Chillie at chilliefalls.com. That'll get me. Have a great day. Hope to see you on the Magnifica on September 27th.
All right, that's going to wrap up the news portion of today's show. Let's go over and see who's with us in the chat room that I didn't speak to before. Let's see. We got down to, got through Steve. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. Gretchen's here. Good morning, Gretchen. Hot Air says, when do you leave? 7 a.m. tomorrow. Wow. We'll be at the airport at 5 a.m. They must have a direct flight to Vancouver. Of course, you got the 4-hour time difference. So, okay, that gives you a little padding. Gretchen says it's not a deal, but we've done it a few times. All right, so that'll work as long as you get there. I'll be on board waiting for you. I don't know if I'll be on board or not. I hope I'll be on board. So anyway, guys, this is travel day, of course. I've got to process the show and get all that stuff done. And then put all my computer stuff, back it up to ready to go. So, I'll be 10-ish or so actually getting out of here. And then I got to drive over to Richmond, wave at Cindy and Hot Air Tom as I go by, and jump on an airplane to Charlotte. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for the morning. No idea about tomorrow's schedule. Same thing when we get back in next week. No idea what the schedule is going to be like on, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. But we'll see. We'll come up with something. In the meantime, probably the next time you hear from me, I wouldn't be surprised if it'll be on board ship. So, but anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Going to be a long day and night, and then another day. So, all right, guys, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas, just like Gretchen and Fred, Gary, and I are doing this week. Y'all have a great day. See you from Vancouver.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.